Hello, everybody, and welcome to Finding Inner Freedom, shifting paradigms to become who you truly are. A global online event featuring over 20 speakers, healers, therapists, coaches, movement practitioners, shamans, alchemists, intuitive guides, and wisdom teachers to share how we can draw on the profound wisdom that is found beyond the conditioned mind to become more free. So we can heal, be in our bodies, live from the heart, and align with our soul. For when we do this, we can create magical new ways of being and living together that help fertilize the ground for a new humanity that benefits all. Thank you for joining us. Hi everyone, I'm JuliaKokiKyambi and I'm your host and the creator of this event. And today I am so delighted to be welcoming Cheryl Druppers and Francis Odhiambo, or Franco, to our talk today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
We're excited to be here as well.
Very excited. Feeling like moving.
Now, Cheryl and Franco are co-founders of ChezaCheza Dance Foundation. And today they're going to be telling us a bit more about their organization and talk about how dance can be an outlet to express your emotions, heal trauma, and experience true joy. Now, ChezaCheza Dance Foundation is a Kenyan not-for-profit organization founded in 2018 that provides weekly dance therapy sessions to build strong minds of children living in marginalized communities. Through ChezaCheza classes, children learn how to express themselves, release stress, and build confidence in safe spaces through community-based coaches. Children living in these communities live in an environment of stress, which includes violence, crime, abuse, and hunger. There is a lack of services to support children's mental health and well-being that is culturally appropriate, fun, and accessible. By providing weekly dance therapy sessions, children engage in an interactive learning experience where they build essential social and emotional skills, connect with others, express their emotions, and build confidence. Experiencing joy, releasing stress, and coping with emotions can help children navigate life's experiences and make responsible decisions. Now, co-founder Francis Odhiambo, Franco, was raised in the largest slum of Kenya called Kibera, and he's a talented dancer who knows the difficulties of growing up as a child in this area. And Cheryl Druppers, who came in 2018 to visit one of Franco's classes and recognized the immense potential of Franco's work. As a development professional, educator, and dancer, Cheryl understood the importance of dance and started to dig deeper into how Franco's work could be more structured and reach more children. And now I'll hand over to you to tell us how your organization came about and give us a bit more of your background. Maybe we can start with you, Franco.
Yes, thank you so much, Julia, for the amazing introduction. And it's nice hearing like the kind of work that we do. Sometimes we forget because we are so much into it, but it's so nice hearing it from someone who's coming from external side. And it's really motivating and inspiring. It's inspiring me to get me with that. Anyways, right now I might be smiling, but growing up in Kibera wasn't the case when I was growing up. And I'll just start with like, on my case, dance saved my life. And that's why I'm even here talking to you and even for the people who are watching. Dance gave me a chance. It gave me another spot in life. If it were not for that dance, probably right now I'll be in jail or even dead because I have like 2 friends who died because of like poor decision making and just life just happened. So why am I talking this way? So I was born and raised in Kibera, this one of like the largest slums that we are having here in Africa. Probably most of the guys hearing this, they know about Kibera. And growing up, it wasn't that really easy. When I was young, it was okay, like very young. Then when I got to my teenage and I started like realizing myself and everything, that's when life took another change, like, or a tweak. And I was chased away from home with my dad because I loved dancing too much. And to him, dance didn't make sense, and he wanted me to do something that will help me like get somewhere in life. So he didn't took dance as that way that will lead me to that. So he chased me away from home. Broke up with my mom because of that again. So it was a lot of stress on my side, a lot of trauma, blaming myself for a lot of things. So at that moment, I really didn't have anyone to look up to or to ask for help. So started living alone with my friend called Collins. And that's when we started having like bad friends and having bad company. So we were four friends. It came to some point, we lost two of them, and now we are two. And because of theft, we went somewhere, there was an event and everything. They stole like a handbag from certain ladies and they were shot by the police and killed. So when that happened, it's actually when I started to reflect on my life and what I really want to do with my life, because I didn't want to end in that way. And I had like really big visions, and dropping out of school wasn't like an option for me until this point where I was just from home. Then it happened, and I was like, oh wow, okay, so this can happen to anyone. So reflecting my life, I was like, okay, what do I really have that I could change my life with? And at that point, I didn't have connections. I didn't know anyone. I didn't have enough education. I didn't have money. But the only thing I had at that moment was dance. And I had my talent. And I told Collins, I'm going to use that dance to just keep myself safe and express myself. And so I used dance to express all the anger that I was having inside me. I used that dance to express all the stress that I was having inside me. I would cry when I was dancing, and that could release a lot of emotions that was going on, a lot of blame that I was blaming myself about. And through that, so many things happened, just to cut the long story short. And that's how even ChezaCheza came to be. And we are here because of that dance. And it wasn't fair for me only to express myself and realize my full potential through that dance. And that's why we started like even ChezaCheza, where we could motivate and create safe spaces for other kids who are in formal settlements who are going through the same story as me or even worse. Because now, sad part is, these children in these informal settlements, they go through the same story, and even others are worse than me. And yeah, they rely on people like me or us to come to their aid and just hold their hand and tell them it's okay, and give them that assurance, give them a sense of belonging, because sometimes that's all that you need for you to dream. Before even teaching skills, you need to make someone dream first and remind them to dream of where they want to get, and that's what we want to create at ChezaCheza. That's what we're creating, safe space where they can come, not be judged, and just be you. So yes, that's my background.
Well, thank you for sharing that really big story. And yeah, when you say dream, that really resonates for me, even just providing a space for children who otherwise cannot, can just dream as a starting point. That really resonates for me deeply. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about what you actually do at ChezaCheza. But for now, let's go on to Sherelle. If you could introduce yourself, give us a bit more of your background and how you guys came to meet and found this organization.
True, because I think it was all very serendipitous. And on the other hand, it happens for a reason. So I came to Kenya 6 years ago. I came here to work for an NGO, enjoyed my life here, and kind of rediscovered dance. So I grew up dancing back in the Netherlands, stopped when I was 18. And when I came back to Kenya, dance was just such a part of culture that I had to dance again. And I really felt that was such a great outlet, like Franco said. At that time, my parents just divorced, and there was a lot of stress in my family, and dance was that outlet for me. So I was dancing with a group, and they said, we're going for a performance. They invited me, and there was a very long waiting time to actually perform. So I was seated next to this young man, Franco, and we started talking, and he showed me pictures of a dance class that he was doing with kids in Kibera. And I said, that's so interesting. Let me take your number. I would love to come and watch. That took a few months, but somehow Franco was always in the back of my mind. So one Saturday morning, I remembered this story, and I texted you and said, you know, are you still doing these classes? I would love to come and watch. So Franco said yes, he'd pick me up and showed me one of his classes, and everything just came together at the moment that I entered the class. It was a very powerful experience where I saw Franco being a role model. I saw him creating safe spaces. I saw the kids collaborating, expressing, just experiencing so much joy. And I thought, what you're doing is so valuable. Somebody needs to do something and make this way bigger than it is. So we started talking, and Franco thought, okay, what does she want? I don't know where she wants to go with this. But I was very serious, so I quit my job a few months after meeting Franco, and I said, we're starting an organization, and we're gonna reach way more children with this. So that's how we started ChezaCheza, and started really thinking about what do the kids need, what can we do with dance or dance movement therapy. Because we started researching more about the power of dance, so we came across dance movement therapy and started working on a curriculum and really figuring out how to reach more kids, basically. So that happened in 2018, where Franco started with 20 kids, and now we have over 1,200 kids in 7 centers and 25 schools doing our classes. Yeah.
That is amazing. I really love what you guys have created and how it came about and how you're doing that. So tell us a bit more about the classes and, you know, the changes that you're seeing in the kids.
Yeah, I can talk a bit more about the curriculum. You can talk about what you see in the kids. Because,
I mean, what like now we see in the kids, let's start even with the numbers, because starting it was like how Cheshire said, like 20 kids. And these were kids like who are knocking at my door, like they want to go and dance. These are the kids who are peeping at the windows when we were doing our practices, and they were enjoying it. And now seeing those kids who we started with, who are not able to express themselves, who are not like really in their full potential, who didn't have the self-esteem, the confidence. Right now, they are the same kids who even help running the classes. They're the kids who, like, even visitors come in, they tell them what we are doing as ChezaCheza and what ChezaCheza has done in their lives. They are the same kids when you go to school. Their teachers are like, these kids are very confident. They are the prefects. Here in Kenya, we call them prefects, like the class leads. They're the ones who are leading things in school. And when I see that, that's really like heart-touching, because it's where we want to get to. It's the future that we want to get to, because in the next 20, 30 years, this country will be run with that age. 15 years, they'll be something. And those are the people who will be in politics. Those are the people that will be in these big companies. And when they have it right now, then our future is safe. And seeing that impact coming from their side, that like even them talking to parents understanding actually what we are doing as ChezaCheza, seeing their kids in a different manner, and taking the poverty mindset away and looking at the strong side that they have in terms of confidence, in terms of like creativity and innovation. That is really amazing, and that's what we are seeing with the classes that we are having currently. But that will not happen, of course, without the curriculum that we have. Mm-hmm. We have, of course, amazing dancers coming out like from these kids. I hope you guys will have a chance to go to our YouTube and see them. Mm-hmm. But dance is just a tool. but we want to see that growth that our curriculum explains more. And I think Cheryl can talk more on the curriculum and what curriculum expresses.
Yeah. So it took all of 2019 of testing and finding the flow of the class, because we knew that we wanted to do more than dance, and using dance as a tool to reach confidence, make kids feel really good about themselves, and give them skills to navigate their life. So dance movement therapy is a form of psychotherapy. It's not always that well known, but basically it uses movement as a form of expression and processing your feelings. So our class follows the flow of a dance movement therapy class. So for example, we start with meditation. We always stand in a circle, so also very therapy based. Franco, if he's teaching, he'll be part of the circle to create equality, make sure that every child feels seen and heard. So that's very important, a lot of circle work. So we start in the circle, we start with meditation and mindfulness, body check-in, and we ask every child after this meditation, how do you feel? And usually the kids don't have all the words to describe how they feel, but they have movement. So if you go around the circle, you see 30 different movements, 30 unique expressions of kids, which tells us or tells you as a teacher, this kid might be stressed. Hey, there's a lot of excitement in class today, or hey, there's a bit of tension. So that's how we start a class. And then we move on to the life skills part. So we integrate different life skills such as self-esteem, collaboration in each class. And we also learn that through movement. So for example, walk around with high self-esteem, like use your body, or walk around with low self-esteem. And the kids feel that difference. So linking feelings and emotions to posture and body movement. We also do a warm-up of the body. We do teach a choreography where we really focus on expression. So what's the song? What are the words? What do you feel when you hear this music? And how do we teach a dance, or how do we learn the steps to this dance? We also have a debrief. So we also cool down the body and then debrief in small groups of, hey, what did we learn today from each other? And how are we gonna take this into the outside world? Because ChezaCheza is a safe space, and then outside is not as safe. So how do we navigate that? And that's why it's so important that we work with community-based dance coaches. So all the coaches that we work with are from the same area that the kids live. So we really select coaches based on their experience, just their life experience, their dance experience, and their motivation to be a change maker in their community. So it's most importantly that the kids see somebody that they can look up to, and somebody who can relate to their struggle, and not somebody that just is there to dance and teach and then goes away, but actually somebody that lives in the same community that they can knock on their door for support. So that's really how it works. We select and recruit teachers, we train them in our curriculum, and I give them continuous training, and then that's how they facilitate the classes.
And I just feel like to add on that, in terms of even talking about these local role models, so we call them educators or coaches, is one of the challenges that we normally have in like the informal settlements. Or when I was growing up, I had that challenge of we don't have actually enough local role models where this kid looks up to and be like, actually, I want to be like that person. The role models that we normally have who are like easy accessible are those ones like who are in drugs, they dress really well, but when you look at them again, what do they do to dress well and stand out in community? It's like you find that the same people who are in drugs, that the same people who are in like theft and everything, and the kids grow up looking up to those people, thinking actually, for me to look good, I need to steal something. For me to look cool in my community, I need to be in drugs. So that's also another challenge that we're trying to tackle with like empowering the local role models so that they can be positive role models to these kids. Because before these kids even go to those televisions, before they hear like those musicians in the radios, they first of all look at that person who's with them in their community, and that creates much more impact than the person who's on TV. So we are also like empowering local role models who can empower these kids in a positive way, because it's important to us when a kid, like a girl, finishes her school without getting pregnant. It's very important for us, for a young boy to finish school and go for their dreams without getting into drugs and losing their lives in middle of all this. Yeah, I just wanted to add here.
Yeah, really important point. And the theme of role model and actually modeling. So what you describe, like what you do at the beginning of your classes in itself, I imagine that in itself is already such a powerful experience, for anyone. But then for a child coming out of these conditions, to actually self-connect and to actually express in the presence of others and to be seen with that, I imagine that is already so powerful in itself. And without having to put words on it, but to be more real by expressing it, to just be able to connect to that and express it through the body, however that comes out. Could you say a bit more about how you experienced just the start of these classes, with regard to what I just mentioned?
You want to go first?
Yeah, you do the classes mostly. So I'm Franco is the one who works really in the community, and usually I'm more of facilitating everything around it.
Yeah. So like the experience, because now you see when we find these like children, or when they come to ChezaCheza, and they see like actually they get a chance to realize themselves, they get a chance to actually activate their self-esteem and their confidence and everything. It gives them like that chance, actually, what I was saying, on to dream, because some of them, like through the class, they feel like, for me, I want to be a lawyer. And at some point, they're like, in my community, do we even have lawyers? We don't have. So it means I can never be a lawyer, because everyone who's coming from this same background, nobody becomes a lawyer and nobody has become a lawyer. So who am I to think that I can become a lawyer? But when they come to the class, they get a chance to know actually them, and like me, myself, and the people who are around me. It's my mindset. And they are not lawyers. There are so many other people who want to be lawyers out here. But the only difference is all of us are thinking the same way, that we cannot be lawyers, and that's why we are not lawyers. But this class unlocks their mind to tell them, actually, you are that person who is really privileged to be in class, to know you can become a lawyer because you have the confidence, you have everything that you need inside you, you have all the mentors that you need, you have like role models that you need to help you become that lawyer, and help also other children out there to realize actually they could become anything they want to become when they grow up. So our classes really tweaks their minds, and in a way that we are really happy about, and the kids express that. And after classes, you'll see them walking out with like high self-esteem, with a lot of questions. If you come to ChezaCheza, our kids will ask you a lot of questions. But when they first come in, you'll see people who are like very, how will I put it, shy. And it's because growing up in, in our homes, you don't have a chance to actually express yourself in what you want, what you think. Even being asked like options, do you want this or that? That is never there. It's like, this is what we've got, and that's it.
Yeah, we saw that in the beginning a lot when I gave options to the kids, and they were silent because they never had options before. It's, you go to school, you come home, these are the chores that you do. So we found that a lot of kids don't know really how to be kids. They just do what they're told. And they become very passive in a way. And then once they get opportunities or space, they are very uncomfortable in the beginning with taking that space because they don't know how to. And all of a sudden, if you see that, like, no, we're not going to show you how to express yourself. This is the floor. You show us how to do it. And that takes time, but building that trust and that safe space, all of a sudden you see them flourish, and it's like, oh yeah, I have this idea. Can I share this idea? I want to make this move. Oh, I can show it. I can make a joke. I can you really see that our kids are very outspoken, very unique, and they really get a chance to flourish in the space that we give them. Yeah, we call it nurturing, very nurturing space.
Yeah, and that has been the experience where we've experienced these kids. They wanted this safe space where they could be themselves and experience like this type of learning, and structure has really helped us in terms of like helping them realizing who they are, and them realizing like their full potential, and getting into it and bringing it into life. Yeah,
that's such important work that you're doing there, and you know, opening that, you know, that ability and potential in space to self-express and dream. That is something I feel is so deeply needed everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah, it's not
Everywhere.
confined to where we work. It's just, I think it's everywhere. I think we had a call with one of our French partners, and he said, you know, in these suburbs in Paris, actually the story that you're telling, we also have young kids facing, you know, drugs, crimes, how to navigate certain decisions, and we all need to be more self-aware. Like you said, finding inner freedom. It's really our mind that sometimes confines us, and of course the conditions that we work with in Kibera and our other community Madare, it is very difficult because, you know, dreams are universal, but opportunities are not, and it is difficult. But if you think you can do it, like it makes it possible. Yeah.
And tell us about some of the challenges that you encounter in your work.
Parents.
Yeah.
Parents do not always understand what we do, especially in Kibera, the community that we work. There are different NGOs that give school fees or give like something very tangible, and kids come to us to feel good, which is to a lot of parents, are they paying our food? Are they paying our school fees? Why would you go to this organization? So sometimes we see that kids are not allowed to go to ChezaCheza, or parents give them chores while the ChezaCheza class is starting. And it's very hard to sometimes communicate with parents on what we do because they don't necessarily see the immediate value of our work. But the parents that have been with us for a longer time, they're like, oh, my kid is changing. All of a sudden they're communicating better, they're listening better, they're coming on time, or if there's something they talk to us. Yeah, that's been quite a struggle.
Yeah.
Parents. Yeah.
I think it's a major challenge. We are changing like the mindset that we are having in Kibera and also Madare about organization. When a parent hears about organization, then they have like very high expectations. They think we have all the money to pay the school fees, to pay like their food at home. So when you don't do that, then it's like, no, it's not a good place to go. But after some time, of course, they realize or they accept what we are doing because it's important. Then another challenge, I would say, probably we have a lot of dreams that we want to achieve with ChezaCheza, but of course, all that needs some funding. Anyway, money is never enough. But yeah, so like some
I'll just interrupt there, because maybe this is a good point to already make this our listeners, our audience aware of that. We also have a donate button at the bottom of our speaker page here that you can scroll down and access, and we'll come to talking about that a little later, but just to throw that in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that also is another challenge.
Yeah, but these are the most. And the other thing with parents is that we work with the kids and they transform, but they go back into an environment that has not transformed. So of course, if the parent and the community would also be a conducive place for a child to express themselves, our work would be much more impactful. But we work with them once a week in this space, and then they go back into a space where they were actually not allowed to talk back to their parents, and now they all of a sudden are saying, oh, I don't like this, or I wish we could do this, and then all of a sudden the parent is like,
yeah,
why are you speaking up? What is this? So it's sometimes difficult to integrate what we do into the real life for the kids. So of course the skills help them, like to be calmer, to make better decisions. We definitely see that, but sometimes the kids find it difficult to go to a home where nobody is mindful or thinking about decisions while they are doing that. Yeah.
So yeah, what you're describing there is, very specific also to that situation, but also we can translate that into a larger phenomenon, that all of us are fighting with mindsets that are not necessarily always in service of our highest good, but resulting from conditioning and life circumstances that have evolved over time. And so I really feel that what you're doing is so important, because you're opening a doorway in this kind of a setting, and for that to be able to work, and obviously it is, you're growing. 1,200 kids, you say, are a part of the curriculum. That really resonates for me, and I'm sure it will also be resonating for a lot of our audience. So maybe we're going to be coming to the end of our talk, and Franco is also going to be giving us a little experiential. But before we do that, maybe you could just briefly elaborate a bit more on what are you doing to make to increase the access to this form of therapy.
Yeah. So we have two kind of like distribution channels, as we like to call it. So one, we work in the community with the dance-based coaches, community-based coaches, and we work with schools. So we now have 25 partnerships with schools, and we see that our work is very valued in schools as well. So how to gain more access to more kids is working with partner organizations that have access to schools that really like our program, so that we can come in and work with a lot of kids in schools. So that's one. And of course, the funding that Franco was talking about allows us to train more teachers. So recruiting more teachers that really want to create a change in their community, and we can facilitate them with training, but also financial support to make sure that they can run their class for a whole year. So that's how we want to want to have more kids. But there's enough kids, so it's not like we have to struggle where to find them. It's just setting up the logistics and the infrastructure to do that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we've come to the end of our talk, and I'm really curious we're going to be diving into a little experiential guided by Franco to help the audience, or to let the audience experience, or maybe you can go on to describe that, and and tell us if this is something that you do with the kids as well.
Of course, that's what we do with the kids. So actually, this always my best part, where everyone get to experience like what we do at ChezaCheza, and just move with us. So actually, let me start with how dance works. So dance works in 8 counts. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So whatever I decide to do with my body, I put it into 8 counts. Basically, it's a dance, because there are those people who normally think, I'm not a dancer. Oh, I'll embarrass myself when I dance. Actually, you are a dancer, because I know sometimes when in the washroom, maybe you'll be doing this. That's a dance. You might be like standing or sitting like this into 8 counts. It's a dance. So you might decide to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are dancers. Yes, we might decide to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are dancers, I wish I could move and everything. So, but how we start at ChezaCheza is how Cheryl was saying, we start in a circle to like build that trust and make sure we are seeing every child and they're feeling safe and no one is left behind. Then after being in a circle, we do breathing exercise where we tell the kids just to relax, be present in class, and just be you. You close your eyes, one hand goes to your chest, another one goes to your stomach, and you just breathe in deeply. Let's breathe in And breathe out. One more time, let's breathe in. And you breathe out. And just make sure your mind is here and you're present. And just make sure you're relaxed. One more time, breathe in. And breathe out. And the last breathing in, the air will be going into our stomach, not our chest. So let's try to breathe and put the air into your stomach. Breathe in and out. Then you can open your eyes very calmly. You can smile to your neighbor and make sure they're happy being here. And here and right now, we ask you to actually ask yourself or body scan yourself on how are you feeling right now. If you're asked where you are seated right now, where you're standing, if you're driving, anywhere you are right now, how are you feeling? If you're asked, what's that feeling that you're feeling at the moment? You can take 10 seconds and just do a body scan and ask yourself how you're feeling. I know how I'm feeling now, and it's time to express it. And at ChezaCheza, we normally don't use words, we use moves to express ourselves. So if I'm having any insecurities to tell you I'm sad, I'll just express it in a move, and that will make me comfortable. So for example, today I'm not sad, but this is how I'm feeling. That's my feeling of the day. And just to tell you, I'm excited. And just like, yes. And Cheryl, how are you feeling? Yes, that's Cheryl. Energized. And
Julia.
so all of us, we do that and feel, and that's Julia. So yes, and that's how we are feeling, and we make sure everybody shares how they're feeling, and all of us like experience how everyone is feeling. The people who are feeling sad, we also get to experience how they're feeling, just to be in one baseline with everyone, and just to let everyone know if you're not feeling okay, it's okay not to feel okay, and just have the empathy when someone is not feeling okay and when they're going through something. Don't judge them because we all know how everyone is feeling. So that's how we do it. Then from here, we go like to our life skill, which today I don't think we'll do the life skill part. Then from there, it's warm up. We make sure we stretch our bodies and everything. Then we go to choreography, where now we connect it to our topic of the day. If it's self-esteem, for example, we'll put music and tell the kids to walk inside the room with high self-esteem, how they can define self-esteem, how they feel it. Then also we put music and tell kids to walk in the room with low self-esteem and how that looks like. What do they see in someone who has low self-esteem? Then we tell the kids actually, which one do you prefer between the two? And the kids be like, yeah, we want high self-esteem. Then it's upon them to like walk out of that box, out of the comfort zone, and realize their full potential in high self-esteem and challenge themselves. And we finish with cool down, then we do a deep breath. So I really wish we could have done like a class for you guys also to enjoy it. But I hope you still remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, even that one is a move. 7, 8. Yes. So yes, thank you so much. And that's how basically it runs. And everyone now can dance and everyone can move.
Beautiful. And I really so deeply resonate, also coming like from my own work, where we work so much with movement and like what's coming from inside, the wisdom of the body. And we need to start with the body. And the mind cannot do this for us.
The body-mind connection is extremely powerful, is what we see. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for this talk, and everybody listening, if you feel inspired to support ChezaCheza Dance Foundation, Nairobi, Kenya, please just scroll down the speaker page and you'll find the donate button there. Tell us about the fundraising page, because it looks a little bit different to what one might expect. If you could just briefly describe that.
Yeah, so it's a local fundraising page from Kenya, so that people in Kenya can donate through local means. So it's called M-Pesa, but there's different payment options when you scroll down on the page. So if you see M-Pesa and you don't know what that is, it's a Kenyan payment system, but there also are international payment systems as well. To give you a rough estimate, for example, around now seeing the exchange rate, but around 30 euros is what it costs to facilitate a class for 30 kids. So for example, if you would donate that, that is what we can do to facilitate the teacher, the venue, and drinks and snacks, for example. And you can also just follow us on social media. So at ChezaCheza Dance is our handle on Instagram. We have a YouTube channel. If you Google ChezaCheza Dance Foundation, our kids are extremely talented.
Yeah.
I would say so. And if you have any, what we also found in terms of funding, it's not always about money. It's about connections. And Julia, you reaching out to us and giving us a platform is very valuable to us. So if anybody's watching and is thinking, I have a great connection, I have advice, I have something to give that is not monetary, but it is something that we can share together, or have another platform where we can share a story, we're really happy to connect. So always reach out to us, just Francis at ChezaChezaDance.org or Sherelle at ChezaChezaDance.org. And so you can email us as well. So we're very open to new connections, because that's been super valuable in our work.
Amazing. And we'll put those connections, you'll find all of that on the speaker page, so it'll be easy for you to connect in whatever way you like. And I can imagine that there will be some very interested people, because we've also drawn in with this summit a lot of movement practitioners coming from different fields. So who knows what that might cross-fertilize and inspire. I certainly hope so.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for this opportunity, Julia.
Thank you so much.
And hope it's inspiring, and we're excited to be part of this.
Yes,
Thank you
so much for the platform, and it's like really nice sharing the story and going back to the history, actually why we started and everything. It's very refreshing and humbling as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, and bye-bye.